On the Bassmaster Elite Series, the best anglers in the world always find the big ones. North and south and in all weather, the Elite Series pros show the world the biggest bass they can find. When it all comes together perfectly, and an angler and a lake are both fully primed, a milestone can be reached. The Bassmaster Century Belt. 100 pounds of bass over 4 days. Today we'll take a look back and celebrate all the anglers who reached this milestone in 2022, including a century belt like no other in history. This is the 2022 Bassmaster Elite Series Review Show.
Hi, and welcome to the Bassmaster Studios, sponsored by Marathon. Great to see you. Tommy Sanders here with Ronnie Moore, and we're sort of looking forward, of course, to our 2023 season, all these things we look forward to, and we're getting ready by looking back to 2022. And when you talk about career milestones, for these anglers at the very top level, there is, of course, the World Championship, the single most important tournament, the Academy Sports and Outdoors Bassmaster Classic. There's Progressive Angler of the Year, which is all about achievement throughout an entire season, but there is yet another milestone, one which carries with it a rather unique trophy, if you will. But this is something I've never failed to see an angler get very excited about winning this. Explain what that is.
Yeah, and it doesn't happen frequently. Catching 100 pounds for 4 days of competition, you can only catch 5 bass a day. So 20 fish, 100 pounds, that's a 5-pound average. That is stellar in professional bass fishing. 100 pounds, you have to have weather come into play, time of year, and the anglers have to perform. And boy, did they in 2022, Tommy. We had 3 different lakes, all break the 100-pound mark. We had 8 different occurrences of this. We also had smallmouth for the first time ever, a place that we expect to break 100 every time we go there in Texas, and also a South Carolina historic fishery showed itself once again in the spring. Those 8 anglers who broke the 100-pound mark, congratulations, you'll never forget that one accomplishment.
Yeah, Ronnie, and it's not like these all came in one weekend. These guys figured it out on 3 different lakes at 3 different times.
Tommy, if the Century Club was a cake, there's a certain recipe that has to go into making this event happen. It's got to be a special, unique body of water. It's got to be at a great time of the year. And for the most part, you have to have pretty good conditions for 4 days. Hey, 25 pounds is a great bag, but to do that 4 days in a row, that is a memorable week, to say the least. One lake that it got done on this year, Santee Cooper. Santee Cooper in South Carolina, Clarendon County there. A very special body of water, shallow in nature. It has cypress trees, lily pads. There's a lot of different recipes at this place to get it done, but in the spring, when the spawn is on, Drew Cook and Caleb Kuphall both broke 100 pounds at Santee Cooper. Then we go to Lake Fork, a place we've broke the 100-pound mark every time we've been there. This was in May, though, and it was a little different. It was about 8 to 9 feet low, much different than we've seen in the past, but the big bass still showed up. What a great body of water. Livesay, Brandon Palaniuk, Gerald Swindle, and also LeHew, all 4 of them broke 100 pounds going in to the end of that weigh-in. And we weren't done there, Tommy. We had one more event, the St. Lawrence River and Lake Ontario up in upstate New York, Clayton, New York, a place we have gotten 85, 95 pounds to win, but we were wondering, would 100 pounds come? It was a special week, very rough conditions in practice, but slick, calm, pristine weather for the 4-day tournament, and Przekurat and Cory Johnston got it done. Over 100 pounds for the first time ever.
Such a great group of Century Belt winners in 2022, and each of them did it their own way. It will be great to break all those down with you, Ronnie, as we go through our show today, including that first ever Century Belt on only smallmouth for Przekurat. Stick with us after the break as we continue our look back at these historic performances from the 2022 Elite Series. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the 2022 Bassmaster Elite Series Review Show, where we are taking a look back at our 8 biggest performances from 2022 with our Century Club special. First up, we head to our Elite Series event at Santee Cooper Lakes, where this legendary complex always serves up big bass and great competition. This year, though, 2 guys put down a Century Belt beatdown that we will be remembering for a long time, starting with sight fishing specialist Drew Cook.
The 2022 season, Tommy, kicked off Century Club-wise with Drew Cook at Santee Cooper Lakes, Clarendon County, South Carolina. What a great body of water. He kicked it off early in the event, 31 pounds on day 1. That is exactly the recipe you need if you want to get off to a good start. En route to 100 pounds, 31 pounds, what a special week. But hey, the weather got kind of messed up there. We had a postponed day so we could make it a 4-day tournament. Some crazy weather came through, but Drew Cook, being a sight fish specialist, leaned on his go-to bait. His go-to bait was what caught basically all of his fish en route to his first ever Century Club and Elite title.
Every bass but one that I've weighed in on a big bite baits, 4-inch fighting frog and tilapia magic. That is my go-to bed fishing bait. 22-pound Sunline shooter, 4-aught Gamakatsu G Finesse, heavy cover hook, 1/4 ounce weight. I have made an ungodly amount of money with that bait, and it's the perfect bait and the perfect color for bed fishing, in my personal opinion. Whenever that bait's sitting down there shaking, you can look at it with your eyes, looking in the bed, and you'll just see a ray of light come by. Whenever it hits that sparkle just right, it's just shooting, rays of light out, and that's one thing that I feel like really, I'm not gonna say you can't catch them on something else, you obviously can, but I feel like I can catch them quicker with that bait and be more efficient in a sight fishing tournament because of that bait.
Tommy, don't let Drew Cook bury the lead. The bait was very important for him, but overall, Drew Cook's savvy, his ability to sight fish, he is no doubt one of the best Elite Series pros in the world at sight fishing, visibly seeing bass up on the bed in a protective mode, not wanting to bite, and he finds a way to tempt them and to get them to bite his bait. So yes, the bait's key, but Drew, we've been waiting for this. Kind of a crash course between a spawning event and Drew Cook taking the title, and it was no surprise that he got it done.
Got it. Yes! God, what a stud. Oh.
That fish right there, a 7+ pounder in the last 30 minutes of the day. That's the one that secured 100 pounds for him and the win for Drew Cook, his first Elite Series title. Now, we don't want to undersell who finished second place, because Caleb Kuphall in his own right had some history as well. Not only did he also break 100 pounds, he had a day, Tommy, where he only caught 4 fish out of the maximum 5. So he brought in 1 less than the rest of the anglers who made the final day, and he was still able to break 100 pounds. That is a feat that no one else has done. Coming in short of a limit one of the days, it's rare that you're still in contention to win an event, but he had such huge days otherwise. 31 pounds on day 3, 29 pounds on day 4. Caleb Kuphall had a couple different things going for him. He loves to flip a jig, and that was key for him as well in this event, but that spinnerbait around the cypress trees, it was refreshing to see an angler not sight fish, not use those electronics, and just fish around some visible cover with an old school lure like a jig and like a spinnerbait. For Caleb Kuphall, he was right in his wheelhouse to break 100 pounds at Santee Cooper.
Yes. Woo! That'll call. Boom! Yes.
Caleb Kuphall, one of the biggest sticks in the game, coming up big for his century belt at the Santee Cooper Lakes in 2022. What a performance from both he and Drew Cook to get our season started for century belts. If you think you've seen it all, though, stick with us after the break as we head to legendary Lake Fork, where defending champion Lee Livesay and 3 other pros hit the 100-pound mark. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the 2022 Bassmaster Elite Series Review Show, where we are looking back at our top performances from an outstanding 2022 season and our anglers who reached that exclusive Century Club. That's 100 pounds of bass over 4 days of fishing against the best anglers in the world. And Ronnie Moore, Santee Cooper was incredible with 2 Century belts earned, but Lake Fork was up to even another level.
We can't do a Lake Fork special, Tommy, without mentioning the king of Lake Fork, Lee Livesay. The 2021 champion went back-to-back and won again in 2022. Back-to-back wins here on his home body of water, one that he has hours upon hours of time spent here. Hundreds, thousands of hours. He spent a lot of his life dedicated to Lake Fork, and it paid him back over the last few years mightily. Winning $100 grand each year, it's not too bad for your favorite lake in the world. It was a little bit different, though, at Lake Fork this year. Normally, it's full pool, maybe a foot or two low. It was 8 to 9 feet low. They were working on the dam at the southeast part of the lake, so the lake was a little bit low, a little bit different areas played, but Lee Livesay and his local knowledge, he was able to tough it out. And each day, at some point during the day, he would manage to catch a bigger than average fish. And at Lake Fork, bigger than average means 8 to 9 pounder. Lee Livesay, one big bite a day helped him break 100 pounds.
Oh my gosh, no way. No way! No way! Yes! No way! Eight three. Anybody need anything else with her? 8-3. 113 pounds and 11 ounces. Unbelievable! Lee Livesay, one more time. And I know you didn't do it by yourself, Lee. A brand new baby, a beautiful new wife, and his 4th Bassmaster win.
He was able to tough it out, and each day at some point during the day, he would manage to catch a bigger than average fish. And at Lake Fork, bigger than average means 8 to 9 pounder. Lee Livesay, one big bite a day helped him break 100 pounds. Second place in this event, Brandon Palaniuk, tied for second actually. Palaniuk has accomplished basically everything in the sport of bass fishing other than a Bassmaster Classic, and he hadn't ever gotten a Century Club belt. He broke 100 pounds in this event. He broke 30 pounds for a single day bag, one of his biggest of all time. Brandon Palaniuk had a couple things going for him. He had a deep pattern going near the dam, and then he also had one up the lake a little bit that proved to be crucial as we got towards Saturday and Sunday of this event. He had a couple key fish each day, especially in the afternoon, that really helped him get closer to that 100 pounds and try to reel in Lee Livesay.
Begging. Oh my gosh. Yeah, another 6er. Stay on there. Stay on there. You can get in this boat, it's okay. You can get in here. Come on, come on. I got her! Look at that. That's how you want them to eat it. That's how you know you got the right color. Look at that fish, look how pretty that thing is. Oh, bug eyes.
Tied for Brandon Palaniuk. They actually shared the hot seat together on stage. Gerald Swindle looking for his 2nd Century Club belt. He did it way back in California years ago. He had one small spot. It's kind of miraculous that Gerald Swindle broke 100 pounds because he had one small brim bed. You see him here in a kind of area of timber, one cleared spot where a lot of fish were congregating, and he milked it to perfection. This place produced fish every single day, helped him get up to that 90, 95 pounds. He needed a few more spots to kick in and contribute a big fish or two, and that's the case. That's what happened. But we were praying. We were kind of on pins and needles all day for Swindle as one of his catches got him to 99.15, 1 ounce from 100 pounds. We were waiting for him to break it, and it didn't take long. Just a few hours later, late on the final day, he was able to break 100 pounds for the 2nd time in his illustrious career.
Woo! Now we got the Century Club, baby. Now we got the Century Club. Woo! Yeah. Woo! I drove in that face. Swam that jig by that.
All right, all set.
That's that gut instinct for you right there. You see me running, I was like, he's fat.
4 pounds, 11 ounces.
411, woo! Woo! Got it! Got it! Got it, baby! Century Club, 2nd time, woo!
Last but not least, it's hard to think that 4th place in a Bassmaster Elite Series event and breaking 100 pounds and still being over 13 pounds behind the eventual winner, but that's just how good Lee Livesay did. Shane LeHew came from back in the pack of the top 10, had a huge final day. It's crazy to think over a 4-day event that 21 pounds, 13 ounces is going to be your worst day, but that was the case for LeHew. But on that final day, 27 pounds, 10 ounces. He's not going to brag about it. He's not too loud of a person. He's pretty quiet overall, but LeHew had plenty to talk about. A couple 7-pounders on the final day, some big moments as well. That vaulted him up multiple spots into the top 5, breaking 100 pounds. He had 100 pounds, 9 ounces for 4 days. What a special week for the North Carolina pro, Shane LeHew.
That's a big one.
Lake Fork is legendary for a reason, and these 4 anglers who hit the century marks are all the proof you need. Congratulations to Lee Livesay, Brandon Palaniuk, Gerald Swindle, and Shane LeHew for all incredibly hitting the 100-pound mark this year at Lake Fork. We always know Lake Fork will be big, but 2022 was something else, something for the record books. Stick with us after the break as we continue our look back at our biggest performances from 2022 as the Elite Series heads north for a Century Belt performance like no other. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the 2022 Bassmaster Elite Series Review Show, where we are headed north on our look back at the biggest performances from the season. Today, we are focused on the anglers who achieved the rare feat known as the Century Club. 100 pounds of bass over 4 days of fishing on the Elite Series. And Ronnie Moore, we've seen some of these over the years, but none were quite like what we saw happen at the St. Lawrence River for Przekurat and Cory Johnston.
We've been to the St. Lawrence River many times, Tommy. Clayton, New York, our host this time, and Lake Ontario was in play. One thing about this body of water, it always produces awesome moments and big weights. But we've always been in that 85 to 95 pound range. We got to 97 one year, not quite 100 pounds. And to put perspective for fans at home, 100 pounds for smallmouth, that's the species of bass they were targeting this week, had never been done in professional fishing history. No matter where you fished, no matter when you fished, 100 pounds for 4 days of fishing had never been done. And not only was it getting done this week because of the pristine conditions, I mean, we didn't have a breath of wind for 4 straight days. That is a rare occurrence at the St. Lawrence River and Lake Ontario. And then also a rare occurrence, a 23-year-old rookie, first year on the Bassmaster Elite Series, the youngest angler in history to win a Bassmaster Elite Series event. Przekurat from Wisconsin, we learned a lot about him this year. We learned how calm, cool, and collected he was. We learned actually how good of a smallmouth angler he is. Hailing from Wisconsin, you know it's a different kind of smallmouth, but they still are programmed to eat the same way, whether it's New York or Wisconsin. Przekurat had him figured out and really took it day by day. We saw him have a great start to his tournament, and we wondered at what point will his consistency go away. It didn't. He got better and better and better as the week went on, and on that final day when he broke 100 pounds, he knew it. He started to smile, started to show a little bit of swagger, and he was excited to do something no one else had ever done.
Yes, sir. What a way to start out the morning.
It's not like he advanced in years in front of our eyes, but we definitely saw him grow up right before our eyes. 23 years old and accomplishing a lifelong dream, winning $100,000, setting records that have never been done before, the youngest to win an Elite Series event, breaking 100 pounds. And like we mentioned earlier in the show at Santee Cooper and other places, you have to have a special venue, a special body of water during a great time of the year or perfect weather. We got the perfect weather, and this body of water was able to showcase what it has. Lake Ontario and the St. Lawrence River, such a special place, and for smallmouth, we cannot underscore the achievement Przekurat and Cory Johnston did this week. Breaking 100 pounds in this event, it was something loads of people showed up to. Look at them on the bank there to congratulate the anglers as they came in. It almost felt like an achievement, even if you didn't win this event, to break 100 pounds and do something no one else had ever done. That was an amazing accomplishment. So for Przekurat, not only getting the record, getting the title as well, we definitely saw him set the mark for something that we hope to break in years to come. Who knows if we ever will break 100 pounds in smallmouth again, but we do know, hey, at least we did it in 2022. A Canadian, somebody who grew up on the St. Lawrence River, expected to perform at this body of water. He has a Bassmaster Opens win here as well. Cory Johnston, he's on the short list every time we come up north. We expect Cory Johnston to factor, and boy, does he ever. Such a great performance. He had 28.5 pounds on the final day of this event in comeback fashion. He had a slip up on day 3. It seems like day 3 is the kryptonite. A low day, 21 pounds for him. And then he set the record for the biggest bag of smallmouth in Bassmaster Elite Series history on day 4 in his comeback attempt as he broke 100 pounds.
Come on, buddy. Yes. Gotcha. Oh, hook just fell in. 5.5 pounder. 5.5.
It wasn't just a special week for these two anglers. Obviously, it's monumental, a milestone week for both Przekurat and Cory Johnston. We had over 5 or 6 anglers all top the weight mark of 98 plus pounds, something that would have easily won past Bassmaster Elite Series events here, yet they fell short because of the special weeks that Przekurat and Cory Johnston had. Cory really had an awesome game plan going. He had a little bit of technical difficulty, a little bit of mechanical issues on day 3, caused him to lose some time, and that's why he had a down tick in weight, only 21 pounds on day 3. But Cory and Chris Johnston, they know a lot about this body of water, about this special fishery. They knew that they weren't going to be able to practice efficiently, but they relied on their local history. They relied on places that they had caught fish before, and when that weather calmed down, when it slicked off like it is right here, they were able to attack high percentage areas to the maximum capacity. That's all you can ask for, Tommy. What a great week. Przekurat, Cory Johnston, perfect conditions, and a monumental tournament.
Cory Johnston, Przekurat, both topping the 100-pound mark at the St. Lawrence River and accomplishing a feat that many thought would never happen on our tour. That's just the kind of year we had in 2022, record-breaking and history-making. Congratulations again to all 8 of our 2022 Century Club members. We hope to see plenty more of these big performances in 2023. Thank you all for joining us today on the Bassmaster Elite Series Review Show. For Running More, I'm Tommy Sanders. We'll see you next time.